Okay, students, I've marked this off so I can show you mostly sideways what I'm doing, but in reality, we're going to be turned vertically because the yellow is the top of the wheel and it will be the most distant thing that you see from where you're sitting. So up here is the yellow if you're over here sitting. So from this view, it would be turned like this. So I will see if I can fit this all in here so it's visible and then turn it as I go to do the mixing. So I'm just marking here how I can fit this completely, and then I can also zoom in as needed. Okay, so now that everything's labeled in Sharpie marker in some way, we're going to take our yellow all by itself and do everything that has yellow in it. So we're not putting yellow and then putting the tube away, bringing it back, whatever. We're going to do all the yellow now. This is the most important part, because if you're not through an entire tube by the end of this step, you haven't used enough yellow. You have backup, but hopefully we won't have to go into that. So you want to open your tube, and like I showed before, a lot of times it spews out like that, and immediately put yellow in your yellow well. You can't put too much in your yellow well. I'm actually going to be slightly more conservative than normal, only because it's my only yellow tube. All the other ones are at the classroom, and I just don't think I should break the quarantine to go down there for one tube of yellow or order more online, because actually this yellow on Amazon is about $8, but on Blick it's like $3, so it's actually better priced, and it's so hard to find the right yellow. You can buy this color in a different brand and it's the wrong one, but you can see how warm it is. Very warm yellow. Okay, so ready? Now we're going to go to green and orange. Now green has blue in it, which means the blue is super strong. Orange has red in it, and the red is medium strong. So I'm going to need a little more yellow here than here. So I have yellow, orange, green. I need more yellow in the green because green has blue in it. Now when I do my yellow, green, and my yellow, orange, which is right next to it, I need a ton more of yellow. So you can see right there, it's hard to see maybe. Let me go like this. See these amounts? Huge amount, medium amount, a little bit less, even slightly less there, but not too much less. So anywhere that I've marked and labeled my yellow anything is what I'm addressing now. So I have yellow, a ton. You can never put too much in there. Then yellow, green, a lot. Yellow, orange, a lot more in yellow, green, only because it has blue, a little less blue. This one's going to be orange like a pumpkin. Then I got to get to okay, so I have yellow, yellow, green, green, yellow, yellow, orange, orange, and then after green comes blue, green, which even though it's visually mostly blue, I have to put quite a bit of amount of yellow in order to make that work when I add a dot to get the blue, green. Then I need to make my blue, so that doesn't need yellow. So here I'm traveling here. Over here I have red, orange, so I do have to put some yellow in there, and I'm going to use a dot of red. So you see what I just did. I'll redo this. Starting with yellow, as you move into blue, you're going to do yellow, green, a little less yellow, green, a little less, blue, green, a little less, and that's as far as you do on this side. Hopefully we're close enough to start going and not have to keep coming back. I'm halfway through my yellow right now. Yellow, then yellow, orange. I'm going to put a little extra in there. Orange, red, orange. You can never have too much yellow. You could even do more than this. But like I said, this is it for me, and I want to make sure I have enough. Okay, so this is blue, and then we're going to move into the violets, and then we're going to move into the red. So we're done with that part of yellow. But guess where else we need to put yellow? In the mud corner. The mud corner is a mix of the three primaries. Visual mix to create a neutral brown. The only way that this works is to use more yellow, medium red, and less blue. You can't just mix randomly amounts in there. You use a substantial amount of yellow. We're going to use substantial yellow, less red, and even less blue. And that's going to give us our even mix of a neutral black that you, or sorry, neutral brown that you can't tell what made it. Okay, that's it. Yellow's gone. Now we're going to blue. Blue. We have to make a yellow green. Guess how much we use for that? I'm not even squeezing it out. Do you see that? Look at this. I'm not kidding. And then you wipe it in there so that it sits with it. When you get to green, you're going to use slightly more. Wipe that in it. And then when you get to blue-green, slightly more. Maybe that's too much. We'll see. But see how crazily little that is. Now when I get to blue, I can put blue because it's just blue. Now I'm moving down to blue-violet. That's going to be basically blue and red, but leaning blue, but not, you know, as strong as the red could be. The blue is stronger, so I just put a little. Now I go to violet. Violet is more red than blue, believe it or not, but I want to start getting a little more in there. Put a little bit less here. Actually, I switched it. So anytime that happens, take your finger, get it, and put it back over there. Like, for example, violet has less blue than blue-violet, and I did it in reverse, and I caught myself. So move it over. This is where it's still safe, because you've got your blue, your yellow, your red separate. Okay, so now here's the mud. While I'm there, look how little I'm putting. I'm literally just kind of hitting it with a blue, like that. Blue is powerful, so the only place you want to be super generous with it is there. Okay, now violet. Now I'm at red violet. Red violet is going to be almost all red, but I still need a tiny bit of blue. That's it. I'm done. I literally did it all now with blue. Now all I have to do are my red and add my black. Finish my mud. Okay, so here's my red. Uh-oh, I might need my pliers. Oh no, here we got it. So red again, you can be pretty generous because that's your red. We use so little paint in this class that this is like major. I mean, you with this, you'll probably never go back. Unless the colors are wrong, then you have to keep making more and more and more paint, and then you'll have piles of paint. But if you get the color right now, very rare that you have to go back in. All right, so red violet we know has more red compared to the blue. And then I need a medium dot to balance this yellow and blue. More yellow, medium red, less blue, so that I can make my mud mixture. Finally, black in the corner. That's the easy part. It doesn't matter how much you use, but there's not much use in black, so I mean, it's not used often, so I don't put much. That's it. You're gonna have leftover of everything but yellow, and let me show you real quick what I just did, so that before you start mixing. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't finish my reds. So yes, I ended at red. Sorry, I finished. Okay, red, orange, a little more red than you would think, but not much, and then orange, a little more, and then yellow, orange. Literally, you have to do this. Literally. I mean, like, literally. That's it. because it's better to underdo than overdo. All right, so let me show you real quick up close what I just did. Everything's done now, officially. I just double check. It's exactly the same as what I did on the cardboard example with the pencil in amounts. Now you see it on the palette. So this is what we have. And this is the top of the wheel, but I'm going to turn it sideways so you can see what I did. Okay, we have yellow, generous portion, yellow, orange, tiniest fleck of red you could possibly do, orange, small red. I'm going to add more yellow to this one. Red, orange, red, red, violet, black. Oh, I didn't put the red in the violet. Tell you what, I'm like not redding too much today. Now I'm fully done, except blue violet. I'll go over this again so you can make sure I got everything. All right, violet, mud, blue violet, blue, blue green, green, yellow green. And remember, yellow green and yellow orange are the doozers. They are the doozers. They always turn out wrong. I'm not kidding. Yellow, orange, orange, red, orange, red, red, violet, black, violet. Okay, so that's the circle. Now the minute I start mixing this, I'm going to find problems. And usually the problem is I need more yellow. So luckily I have about a third, maybe a quarter of a tube left. So as I start mixing, I can doctor them up. The goal is even steps, like you're going down a stair step, like you're looking at a value scale. Because yellow is the lightest gray, purple is the darkest gray. So you're basically seeing everything but black and white on a wheel as you travel around. So I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to turn it so that you can see it better. And I'm going to start at the top because the top is everything. If you get the top right, the whole thing starts to make sense. If the top is off, every single step is off all the way around. It's an unfortunate reality. When I do this in the classroom, I literally will hover over every single student, every single well, because once a student gets one well too dark, all the colors are wrong for every project through the whole semester. So be light on the light side. Be conservative on the top. And remember that pencil that looks like yellow, that is yellow-orange. Even though yellow looks orange because it's a warm one, there's still a very subtle shift from here to here. Okay, just like on the cardboard, you can only mix from yellow to blue-green. Then you have to wipe because you're back at blue. Then you can use the same pen for blue-violet, violet, red-violet, and then clean, and then so on back. Separate is the mud. You don't want to do that with any of the same ones. Okay, gosh, I hope I can translate this the way I want. Okay, yellow I'm not touching. I'm going to get a paper towel so that I can wipe this in between, because when you get to that point you got to make sure it's fully wiped. Okay. Okay. So here's the yellow. No water, nothing. No water anywhere. Dry paper towel, dry pencil, everything. Here's my yellow green. Now check this out. I put so little blue that it's in the corner of the well and I actually have to scrape it to even get it. So I'm being very conservative, and this is the way to be. Now it's just ever so slightly off. It's almost there, believe it or not. But if I go crazy, in fact, instead of doing that, I'm just gonna dip my finger in an area where there's blue somewhere else in the palette. And just to be, this is a good way of doing this, is if you're worried about it or scared, put it on the edge, because then if it's too much, you can just wipe that off later. So I'm going to use a dot of it. Because if you go one fleck too much, oh gosh, it's a drag. It's a total drag because you got to redo the whole thing. Okay, I just use a fleck. Even if this takes you all day long, if you go in increments like that, you'll get a good color wheel. The other thing is when you make any kind of color wheel or value scale in any art class, once you do one thing, it changes everything. And if you stand back and you see the steps between the colors, it will change how they appear. So that's part of why we're doing it so gently. And we want to make enough so that we won't have to keep remixing and remixing all semester. This is probably less than I would want in here, but you'd be surprised how far that will go. I feel pretty good about that right now. I feel darn good about that.